Monday, November 12th, 2018. And, back in the Deathtub. It was sunny for a couple of days, and the high pressure lifted my spirits, so Bandit and I made it to Mount Loretto Beach, and I collected persimmons, and we walked the beach all the way up to the bluffs and back, which is farther than I remember it. I remember them being just right there, but they're not. And it was very, very windy on the shore, so there were white caps and sponges cast up onto the shore that were blowing around, and Bandit had such a good time with the sponges. And it was low tide, so it was all the cool intertidal algae and snails, but I think he loved the sponges the most. We're going to have to add them to our Sticks brand product of things that dogs like to chew on. Sustainable sponges from the Raritan Bay. I didn't even know that, in the intertidal zone there were bright orange growing sponges, and I just don't remember that the water was clear enough to see that, or not polluted enough to see that. Because right off the Conference House Beach in 1972 or 3, a Libyan tanker went aground on a shoal and cracked open, and several feet of tarry, oily horror lapped at the shores down there for weeks and months, and turn over any large rock down there and you can smell petroleum. It doesn't go away, it doesn't evaporate. So to see it as healthy looking as it was made me really happy. And the bluffs were beautiful, and it was just us. It was a real wilderness beach. The section from Page Avenue North should just be, considered a wilderness zone. It's so, there's nothing else like it on Staten Island, going up to the cliffs. Usually we approach from the Mount Loretto side and climb down, but hiking up from Page, because that's where the persimmons are, was really lovely. A lovely walk on the beach. Just wish I wasn't in so much pain all the time. About the only thing I can do every day is get him walked and kind of suffer for a few hours, and then take a scalding hot bath, and then lay in the bed again for a few hours and try to get him to the dog park. He really loves going there. And we stopped off at the Wolf's Pond Dog Park on our way from El Loretto, so he was really excited to see a whole new dog park. And the dogs were pretty nice there. He's such a good dog. There's only one dog that he's actually really, really afraid of, and that he actually got into a fight with, which is a beautiful Siberian Husky female named Foxy. And because the first time they met, Foxy attacked him. She almost ate him. So every time they're together, he goes, what's going on, man? What's this about? And she comes up and licks his face now. It's very sweet, but there was something about digging a hole, and somebody needed to defend the hole, because that seems to be the game right now. They ended up in a fight. So no contact, just nasty growly. And I really don't like to see him have to go through that. So we'll just keep our distance a little bit from Foxy and some of the other dogs that, you know, wouldn't mind making a meal out of an 18-pound dog. But he really is very good at telling dogs, you know, to back up, because, you know, there was a dog yesterday that came in, was gigantic black dog that had the longest legs I've ever seen. So it could just run him under its hooves if it wanted to. So we stepped out into the little dog area and watched that dog get into fights with like 3 or 4 dogs before everybody separated them, and then the remaining dogs all ended up fighting each other. So it seems like some of the owners just aren't taking responsibility for the action of their unneutered male dogs, and that in the old days there seemed to be a lot more people that would pressure people to get their dogs neutered, or at least pay attention to what their dogs are doing when they're at the dog run. So, but Bandit's really showed his true colors. He has taken on the biggest dogs, and he alerts me if he thinks there's like a dog that's just like ridiculously too much to deal with, and I'll take him out, and he follows me, and he's very obedient. Dogs were getting into a fight yesterday, and I called him right over to me and made him sit, and he sat down, and another owner walked up to us and she said, "That's really remarkable." In the midst of all of that, you can get a dog to just stop and pay attention. And that was a great compliment to him, I think, because he's a very, very smart little dog. And he's learning that when the big dogs get into a fight, that's a dangerous place. So he looks to me, and I'm always with him. So, and we improve our communication that way. So he's just in 6 months, he's turned out to be just an amazing, really amazing dog. And it's good for me to go to the dog park a lot now, because there are people there that knew Geisha and Nico. And so when I talk about them and the dog park that they loved so much, it makes me happy to talk to people that actually knew my dogs, because I miss them. So good. And Geisha, she was always just the saddest little dog. So sad. I tried to comfort her. It took so long for her to be comforted. But she loved going hiking. She loved the Greenbelt so much. And now so does Bandit. I'm going to try to get out of this bath today and go plant some yellow for the spice bush seedlings up at her grave. I think about them all the time. When this is all done, there's just nothing left of you. You're just vanished from the earth. Just vanished. all that love I had for them, you know? There's so much love. It just vanishes with me when I vanish. It's all just a vanishing act, this life. Just eternal loss. Banishment from the collective conscience. We deserve to treat each other better while we're here. I've tried to be useful. Who knows, right? Who's right?